I started being depressed or dealing with depression uh, sophomore year, 2 years ago. Everything in my life that ought to make a person happy. So I was kind of confused why I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was feeling empty. Struggled because at the time I had friends and I had a girlfriend even. It just didn't really add up to happiness, and I didn't understand. I couldn't talk to anybody about it, and I just felt empty every day. Like I didn't have a purpose. So eventually, I questioned why I was even living, and that one thing led to another, and I attempted suicide multiple times, and I ended up in a mental hospital multiple times. I made it out, and I continued to battle depression, but it's an obstacle that you can overcome. Stress played a huge part in my depression. I really identified with being an A student and honors and AP taking kid, and so it was just a huge part of my identity. And as classes started to become harder in high school, then the stress became significantly greater. And I knew that taking AP classes and honor classes and getting straight A's and being the student that always volunteers and does extracurriculars wasn't something that I wanted really to define me. But it was causing so much stress that I felt like I couldn't pursue the rest of my life. Like I had to get certain grades and impress teachers and my parents. And all that stress just wouldn't let me become who I wanted to be. And I felt like I had to deal with those things before I could ever go on to have a life or a career or happiness, really. So it just kind of all came down on me, and it just didn't make sense why I had to go through school and being a good person or a good kid or a good student if it wasn't lining up with the end goal for me, like what I wanted my life to look like. While I was dealing with depression and stress and suicidal thoughts, then ultimately I knew I couldn't overcome the obstacles that I was facing by myself, and I knew it would be impossible to ever become a better person or somebody that was happy if I didn't have people to keep me accountable, keep me happy. So I found some kind of a support group in some friends at school that I hadn't really connected with before, but as we started hanging out more, and they just included me on more things, then I found that I was able to kind of release those stresses in a healthy way that wouldn't lead to unhealthy actions. And so I had a best friend, and I had mentors, and I got a different girlfriend that really changed my outlook on life, and all those things just allowed me to pursue any kind of problem that I face, and that's really what changed my life, is having that community. It really saved my life too.
My sophomore year, my best friend was suicidal, and it was about a 2-year process. My friend was suicidal and depressed because she had a really bad home life, and she never felt loved by anyone, and she just didn't think that anybody wanted her around. It affected my life because I was constantly worried about her and trying to fix the situation, and I just wanted to know why she felt that way and why someone would want to feel that way. And she just always came to me for advice, but I didn't have all the answers, and it was just really stressful because I never knew what to do in the situation. Her suicide and depression affected my stress level because my grades were dropping. My parents were always on my back about it, but I didn't want to tell them about my friend's situation. And so then that put even more stress on me because I felt if my parents knew, then they would like not let me be around her and stuff like that. So that was always really stressful because I was trying to like keep her safe. Stress for her was mostly just trying to like please her parents because she never felt like she could live up to what they wanted, and she just never felt any like acceptance from them, and so that was always where her stress came from. A group of friends, we were all friends with her, and we were all there to support each other, but we were all kind of going through the same thing, but it was more stressful for some people than others, and it was really helpful to have them around you, but it also was just like we couldn't help her, you know?
Hi, my name's Nick. I'm a junior at Dublin High School, and a lot of the stress I deal with just comes from at home from my parents, just by how I guess how we communicate, just how we deal with each other, if that makes sense. That along with school not as much, but that kind of brought me to where I am now, which is, I guess, really unmotivated and just kind of feeling at a point where there's no point, and just how kind of feeling lonely, I guess. My stress, a lot of it comes from again my parents, because they just do a lot of things and they punish me and get mad at me a lot and compare me to my brother and sister, especially my sister. She's really smart and like really talented, well-rounded. In school I just kind of like slacked, and my parents got mad at me because of that, and then more stuff gets taken away and I get punished even more. And then at this point I just got like so unmotivated in the past 3 to 4 weeks. I think in the past like 25 days of school I've missed 13. That of course has brought more troubles to me now, so I don't know, I guess everything kind of starts with my parents, but then it goes back to school. So some ways that help me with my stress, at least, because I usually keep everything kind of in. I don't really like talking to people very much, and I've always kind of held everything in because I know that once I start like talking about how I feel, it like makes me really emotional, depending on like what I'm talking about. And so I've never wanted to like really talk about it with anybody. At home, I'm really close with my sister, so I talk to her a lot about different things, and she helps like kind of mentor me and help me, like brings me to like more optimism. Tells me things, just help with my parents in communication, just things with grades, and just how to like work better with everything. So I think if I did talk to other people who had kind of situations similar to mine, it would help. Only because, especially for me, I keep everything inside, so I think that's one reason that I kind of feel at a point of just kind of like despair, I guess. So I feel like if I did let it out more and got my emotions out more, it'd help me a lot, so I'm not like building up all this tension. And I feel like I'd be able to connect more with these people because they know what I'm going through, and I'd be able to understand what they're going through, and that like in the end it would just really help for us all to be able to just kind of share how we're feeling and share just, I guess, I don't know, mutual feelings of everything, so then we all know what we're feeling. We don't feel like we're just talking to somebody who just says they understand when really they don't.
Say goodbye, these days are gone, and we can't